Hi, I'm Matt, and today I want to make something from Bopl Battle. So, to start, I grab out every single color that I'm going to need, and I divide them into the purples, which I make first, and then just combine it into a nice little purple. After that, I combine together some yellows to make a nice yellow, and after the yellow gets made, I move on to the reds. Now, once the reds are done, I move on to the final color, which is the green. Once this color is mixed, it's time to get the proportions. So, to make the proportions, I flatten all of these out into a equal log, and then I cut them out into portions that I feel would be good. I cut the purple into 4 equal portions, red into 1, green also into 1, and the yellow not into 1, but into 1 that is twice as large as all of the other ones. So for the purple ones, I plan on having an army of purple ones because you can kind of do that. So to start, I make a bow and I flatten out the bottom of it like I did in the slimes video, I guess. That's the closest thing. I then repeat the process for another one. And then I make a bow. This is done with a worm that gets, turned curvy a little bit. Then a thinner worm that gets placed onto the ends of the bow. And then I make an arrow by just kind of making the tip and then a worm. This shape gets refined and pulled back. And then I make a red one just by having a ball that its bottom also gets flattened. Once this is done, I make the yellow guy. I start by squashing out and making the arms and separating out the arms from the body and the head. Then, with the body, I make the leg, I guess? The bottom. Then, I work on refining the shape of the head and then refining the shape of the arms. Once the arms are refined to how I would somewhat like them, I start by making the hands. I pull out the thumb so that it's separate, and then I slice in indents for the different fingers. For this, I made 3 fingers for each hand, even though the actual thing has 4. These fingers then get poked until they look good, and then the arms get refined even more with elbows and such. After that, I get 2 flattened spheres, and I place them on the chest to make the rock-hard abs. These then get blended into the body, but they still keep their shape. Then I poke in a mouth, and then, once the mouth is poked in, I add a black sheet to the inside of the mouth. Once the sheet is fully there, I add in a tongue and flatten it to the bottom of the mouth, and then add teeth with a thin worm of white clay. Then, with the same color of white clay, I add 2 large eyes with 2 black pupils. This process gets repeated for most of the characters. It gets repeated again for the purple one, but for the purple bow, I just make the 2 large eyes with 2 black pupils. After that, the process is pretty much just copied over for the red one, an indent in the mouth, then adding a black sheet to the inside of the mouth, then the tongue, the teeth, except now you're going to get that more in depth, teeth, which is just a worm of white clay, a very small worm, and after that, he gets his 2 eyes and black pupils. This is the basic shape for most of them, but this is the last basic Bopl, I guess? I don't really know how to pronounce it. I'll just call it Bopl. After that, I get the buff one, I indent its mouth, Then I get a black sheet and indent the black sheet to the inside of the mouth. And then, once it's there, I get the tongue and the teeth. And then, yeah. So, you get the little tongue. But the tongue for all of these colors have a basic tongue color, which is just a reddish tan. And then I mixed in a little bit of the actual creature's color. Alright, so now as the eyes are getting placed on and the pupils get placed on after that, I'm done with all of the baubles. I'm going to say this a different way every single time, aren't I? After that, I start to make the platforms that these things are going to stand on. I make the base of them with aluminum foil, and then I cover them in small pieces of brown clay. These pieces cover up both sides except for the tops, which then get covered with a thin sheet of green clay. Or, well, grassy lime green clay. This is made to cover all of the rest of the aluminum foil, and then with this circular land piece, I decided that that's where I wanted my red man. The red guy. Little guy. I'll just call him little guys. That fits. After that, I make a spike for the bottom of this platform, because that's, again, an ability in the game, and I actually wanted to put a few abilities in here. Little Easter eggs of what I know, even though it's not much. After that, I repeat the process, but then with a longer piece of aluminum foil, with the pieces of brown clay, and then a sheet of green clay. Then the yellow guy gets placed onto this one. After that, I make a boulder for this guy to be throwing. This is just a bunch of little balls of brown clay that get rolled into a circle, and that's it. After that, I realized that all of these little guys make trails that are the same color. They look slimy, so I decided to make just wavy little patterns out of the same color as the body to place all of the little guys on. So, in this, you have the red guy, the yellow guy, and the army of purple guys. Okay, yeah, I also do this with the red as well. And the red gets placed right in the middle of that. Once all of that's done, it's time to make the final platform and then place all of the other characters on it. But you may be noticing that I have two size portioned out chunks of clay. These are dead Bopls. The green one got smashed by a boulder, and also has a little path as well. This is just placed around where I eventually finish off with the dead body, and yeah, he's not actually dead. Not like dead. He's fine, YouTube. Then I place the purple guys where they go, with 2 on the main platform and 1 on the higher up platform that the red guy is on. But then the 4th purple one that I had separated out earlier gets squished by the little pillar that the red guy is on, the little spike. Then I make all of the paths that the purple little guys follow and place them on top of it. Starting with the 2 up front, then the 1 behind that is getting crushed actively, and then ending off with the bow. The spike gets stabbed into the one that is dead. So, now it's done.